right, everybody, welcome back to long time no see here on the channel and with all you beautiful people, Planet Council. All right, we are back. We told you guys Planet Council would be coming back with Season 2 of Star Wars The Mandalorian on Disney+, and we absolutely are back. Now, for those who have been listening to the main show, know, scheduling's been a little bit tight because I recently, went back to work, got a promotion, so I'm working a little bit longer. TJ's back to work as well, so our hours don't really match up that well.
I like how every week you say I'm back to work like I'm working. I've been working for like 5 months at this point.
True. But yeah. So we are back, and we should probably introduce ourselves. I am Sean Monk, if you've never watched the program before.
I'm TJ Cornwell.
All right, and this is Planet Council, episode 7. Hard to believe we've only done 7 of these episodes in like 7 months, but
yeah, it's crazy.
It's because honestly, Star Wars didn't really have that much going on over the summer, with Celebration being pushed back and a couple other events being canceled. Not really getting as much news as we thought, but we do have one big news story to talk about this week. Actually, one big news story and one trailer that we'll talk a little bit about for an upcoming Star Wars project. Very soon upcoming. Actually, it comes out very soon.
Yeah.
Do you want to go with the trailer first or the news story first?
Let's do the trailer real quick.
Okay,
probably
so
like 5 minutes.
Yeah, so what we are talking about, of course, is the trailer for the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. So as you know, back during the original trilogy times, right before Empire Strikes Back came out, they released the Star Wars Holiday Special, which I believe aired on CBS or NBC, one of those two. And it was basically around, Christmas, but in the Star Wars universe, they called it Life Day. That was the whole thing, was that it was this big in-universe, everybody got together for Life Day. There was stuff with Chewbacca's family. There was some, craziness. That's where Boba Fett first appeared, which we will be talking about him a lot this episode, as you, I'm sure, could tell based on what we are mainly talking about and the thumbnail. But we, got a lot of interesting looks into the Star Wars universe, maybe things that we hadn't seen before, things maybe we wish we hadn't seen in that special. Yeah, as George says, that wasn't me. that was Irv
networks.
Yeah,
studios.
That was not me. Do you have a Coke Zero?
Exactly.
But we are getting kind of a revamp of this. Now, Jon Favreau joked that he would love to do a full-blown live-action Christmas special sometime in the future. Looks like Disney Plus beat him to it with their Lego Star Wars kind of branch of everything. We both got a chance to look at the trailer. The trailer was about 1 minute and 45 seconds long. TJ, what were your initial thoughts? I know you had some questions about the voice acting. What are your overall thoughts on it? And are you excited for this special?
Ray's, whoever's doing Ray's voice is not the best impressionist, I would have to say. Does not sound like her at all. I like how it seems like they're encapsulating like every single everything they've ever done as far as Star Wars goes, probably except for the books, is going to be in this special. As you can see in the trailer, they're traveling through time and going to different universes, basically. And each of them seems to be falling into each other's timeline, which I think is really funny. And I think it's funny to do it Lego style. It doesn't really surprise me because I feel like that's probably one of the most successful Lego brands.
Oh, absolutely.
Or licenses is Star Wars. Sure. I know that's all I built when I was vaguely into Legos. That's the only one I built was Lego Star Wars. And of course you have games and stuff like that. But yeah, it looked pretty funny. What was something? Oh, basically I was this really looks like an arc from Rebels. That's really what it looks like with
it looks like the World Between Worlds arc.
Basically, yeah. But overall, I thought I thought it looked good, and I'm surprised it's actually coming out in 2 weeks. I thought it'd be closer to Christmas, because it is a Christmas special or holiday special, whatever you want to call it. I want is Disney to release the original Christmas special on Disney Plus.
The original one?
I've never seen it. It's probably on YouTube, right?
The whole thing's on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How long is it though? Is it like an hour and a half?
I think it's like, I don't even think it's that long. I think it's like 50,
Like, I don't know if I could sit there
50
for like an
minutes
hour
or
and a
something
half.
like that.
Oh, and is it really that bad? Can you
Yes.
tell me that? Oh, it is. Okay.
I mean, there's stuff in it that's fine because I mean, it's all the. Oh no, it's an hour and 40 minutes. So yeah,
Oof.
it's a long one.
Okay. Well, excuse me.
But yeah, and it starts off with I don't know if you see that, but let's see. Tonight we are preempting the airing of the Incredible Hulk to bring you this special.
Oh my lord, that's how
Yeah.
it starts.
Yeah.
Jesus. What are your thoughts?
So my thoughts are, I think it's very cool. What it's doing. I think again, I think it's cool that it's bringing together all the aspects of Star Wars. I think it's not cool that in all of the promotional material, still Lucasfilm is not putting the prequel characters on the poster, only showing the prequel characters for a split second in the trailer.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, get over it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's just like, it's like the prequels are pretty much everybody's second favorite trilogy. Like, and I
at this
just feel
point,
like,
I would say.
I just feel like Lucasfilm needs to get on board with that because it's like, oh yeah, and Michelle in the chat here, she said it was only an hour. I think it's an hour and 37 minutes with commercials. I think the commercials are still in it on YouTube. Yeah, it's not edited or anything. So it's only like an hour because you could just tab through the commercials. But yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. I mean, in terms of the actual thing, I'm excited for it. I think it looks interesting. Probably only going to be like an hour or an hour and 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be quick. Like you said, it's probably going to be about the length of like a Clone Wars arc or a Rebels arc or something like that. But yeah, I think it's interesting that we are seeing, like you said, every corner of the universe explored here. You have Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian in it.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
With that'll be interesting to see. I mean, obviously it's not canon, but to see Baby Yoda, maybe Baby Yoda and Yoda have a moment together.
Yeah.
And maybe Yoda will be like, "Baby me, are you?" And he'll go, and Mando will go, "No, his name is the child."
Yeah. Maybe one day
camera.
they make this canon, and in another Star Wars movie they do some like Doctor Strange madness type thing, and they go to the Lego universe and they're going back and forth.
Oh my lord.
Can you imagine? I think everybody at that point would be like, all right, I'm done with this franchise.
Yeah. I think that would turn a lot of people off.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you, Dylan, for the raid. We're giving broadcast on my buddy Dylan's Twitch channel. So thank you very much.
Dope.
Tune in, everybody.
Thanks.
He has got a big following. Going.
Oh, really?
He's making money moves over there. Yeah, he's up to like, I think he's at like maybe like 6 or 7 concurrent viewers, and I think over
nice.
I think he's around like 100 followers. So he's been streaming every single day. So shout out to classy_live on Twitch. Thanks for the raid. Yeah, a very, very, very interested to see this, see how much of the universe it explores, and see if it gives us anything new. But I think either way it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, so definitely interesting, and we'll probably do like a little mini review of it on console. But let's go ahead and get into our first story. Well, really, our only story. Yeah, our only story before the reviews. Like we said, guys, console has been MIA because Star Wars news has been MIA. But we do have some pretty cool news. So slight spoilers for The Mandalorian, but if you've been on Twitter, if you've been on Instagram, you probably know already. Boba Fett is back. Just cut right to it. We're not going to give our thoughts too much on that here because we're about to talk about it a ton in the review.
Yep.
But Boba Fett is back. Tamora Morrison is back from playing Jango Fett and the clones in Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. So he is back in a major way. We saw him full-bodied, full-featured, absolutely him in the very tail end of Mandalorian Chapter 9. So that is something we know is coming, and what this news is telling us is coming is that we are going to be getting at least a limited possibly ongoing, but at least a limited Boba Fett live action series on Disney Plus,
Wow.
starring Tamora Morrison in the role. So that is the news that we are breaking down. Also, an additional wrinkle to this news, which is very cool. The series is rumored to go into production maybe this week, maybe as soon as next week. The camera's going to start rolling. Which, you know, is not surprising to me. You know, Disney has been one of the studios that even amongst COVID, they have been able to successfully film stuff. They finished Shang-Chi. They're filming Spider-Man 3 right
Yeah.
now. Obviously, that's with
Well,
Sony, but it's also with
Yeah.
Disney as well.
They
You know,
have like the what's it called? The
the
view? What is
volume.
that thing? Volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of that, you know, they can film it in a contained
Mhm.
space. They don't have to do a ton of on location stuff for these Disney Plus shows. But either way, that's very, very cool. My guess is this is going to draw some inspiration from the scrapped Boba Fett movie that was going to be maybe the Josh Trank one. At
Probably.
this point,
I didn't know
since it's
that
been
they wanted him to direct that.
Josh
I'd
Trank,
never heard that. Yeah.
yeah, that was his big thing, is that they were literally going to announce
Uh-huh.
Kathleen Kennedy was going to bring Josh Trank out on stage and say, director of the Boba Fett anthology film, Josh Trank. And then everything that happened with Josh Trank happened and they canceled it.
Yeah.
So they were ready to go.
Was this pre Fantastic Four?
It was right after. That's why
Oh,
it was
okay.
like, yeah, it's kind of, think about this, kind of the same thing that happened with Colin Trevorrow, where they were like, whoa, Jurassic World, and then they were like, oh, Book of Henry.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, okay.
How about just like the Jurassic post Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3 franchise in general? No thanks.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how the sixth one goes, but we'll see. Maybe Goldblum will pull it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what are your thoughts? I mean, I just am very excited. Really, that's the only thing. That's the only
Yeah.
word that we have on it right now. So our thoughts are probably going to be pretty limited. I think it sounds amazing. It makes me feel like maybe the Boba Fett scene in Mandalorian, maybe that is okay. So I'll put a question to you.
Yeah.
Do you think the Boba Fett tease that we saw at the end of episode 9, I'll just say chapter 9 because it's episode 1 of season 2, but it's chapter 9, so we'll just go with chapters. At the end of chapter 9, do we think that is it? Do we think that was the tease, and that was teasing the Boba Fett series, which will then pick up with him? Or do we think we're going to get a lot more Tamora Morrison and Boba Fett in The Mandalorian, and this series is possibly going to chronicle how he gets from Sarlacc to Mandalorian?
I think it should be that. I think it should be how we got to the point in Mandalorian, like a prequel to the series almost, because there's gonna be a lot of questions for a lot of people, because how many years is this between again? Since when he dies?
It's been 9 years since Return of the Jedi.
I mean, like, Star Wars has no problem, I feel like, bringing characters back. So, like, if you can come up with, like, you'd have to ask, like, get multiple ideas, because I feel like there's not, like, because you see him go, like, basically die. Like, you see him fall in there. So it's like, you have to come up with something to make the audience be like, okay, well, I see how he could have, like, you know, survived that. And I do hope it's like, I would rather have a prequel, in my opinion. And I think that we're gonna get a lot more of him in Mando. I hope, at least. I mean, obviously we'll get into it, but in the first episode, if you watch it, he's in it for like 2 seconds, literally, like not even. But I'm also interested to see, like, is Rex gonna even be in the show then? Maybe not, or maybe they won't be in the same season.
I still think that Rex is going to be in
like,
the season.
So you think they'd have him play both characters?
I think, I'll just say that. I think Tamora Morrison being done in this season, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think Rex is absolutely coming. I think whenever Ahsoka appears, it's absolutely going to be with Rex. I think that's 100% certain. I think that's definitely what's going to happen. But in terms of Tamora Morrison playing Boba again, I'm not sure, because it's like, if you set the series as a Boba Fett series, if you set it between if you set it from Return of the Jedi up to Mando, that's going to be a Boba Fett show where he does not have the armor for the entire show.
Yeah.
Because remember, Cobb Vanth gets the armor. So the entire show is just going to be Tamora Morrison without his armor.
Yeah.
Do people want to see that? You know what I mean? That's the question.
I also think this is a sign of things to come as far as Disney goes and making spin-off
I just think Star Wars is going to live on television. And I think it should.
I mean, they're going to make more movies, just like not
eventually. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think what
they have all these in production. I feel
yes, I think what it is going to be is that movies are going to be relegated to contained stories like Rogue One, like Solo, and then I think anything else, anything at all to do with the Skywalker saga, is going to be
put it on.
Is going to be a TV show. Anything at all, because that needs to be done. And I say to do with the Skywalker saga, obviously Boba Fett has to do with the Skywalker saga. Mandalorian has to do with the Skywalker saga. We're getting Ahsoka Tano in this show. I mean, it's inevitable. It's all one thing. You know what I mean? Star Wars has to do with everything. It's just the movies mainly focused on the Skywalkers.
Yeah. So you think like the Old Republic would be movies, right? Or no?
Yes, absolutely. I think that would be movies. Okay. I think random here and there stories, like if you want to make like a cool, like, you know, like just a quick movie set in the New Republic, right, with what they're doing with the comics and stuff, with the 600-year-old Yoda, that type of stuff. I think that would be a movie. I think because you could just do a quick one, you know, a one-off, maybe a two-off, you know, you don't have to, and break the cycle of the trilogies. You know what I mean? We don't need Star Wars trilogies for everything. Look at Solo, look at Rogue One. People love those movies just as individual films. You know what I mean? They want to see more of them, but they're happy with what they got.
I'd agree.
You don't have to set up a trilogy that then you're going to go off the rails on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we don't need that again.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think definitely. We're talking about it. Let's kind of transition. Let's go into starting to talk about episode or chapter 9 of the Mandalorian. Which let me just pull it up here. Do you want to read the IMDb on it?
Sorry, let me pull up real quick. I apologize.
No, it's no problem.
Oops.
I just want to get the name. Yeah. So this is, we have chapter 9 called The Marshal.
All right. So we are in chapter 9, The Marshal. Ba-da-da. All right. Came out, aired October 30th. 52 minutes. So that's clearly the longest episode when this episode came out.
Yep.
The Mandalorian is drawn to the Outer Rim in search of others of his kind. Directed by Jon Favreau, written by Jon Favreau, and is that it? Written by Jon Favreau? Yeah, he wrote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Pedro Pascal, John Leguizamo, Amy Sedaris, Timothy Oliphant, Tamora Morrison, like we said.
That's pretty much it.
And that's about it. Yeah. If by the way, if you haven't watched the episode yet,
this is gonna be full spoiler.
It's full spoiler, so it's like I already spoiled it, but
yeah, the whole show. I'm not even gonna put up the spoiler warning because the whole show is a spoiler show. It's a spoiler review. But yeah, so like he said, you know, we have John Leguizamo in a cool little cameo role as Gor Koresh, the little mobster kind of gangster guy. Yeah. Probably won't be seeing more from him based on how that scene ended. Kind of a little bit of an eaten alive situation there. But I love, just going based off the cast here real quick, love to see Amy Sedaris back, not just in chapter 9, but in chapter 10 as well. I know some people said, she was kind of over the top, didn't really fit in season 1.
Yeah.
I liked the character, and I'm glad that we're seeing the character back. I like that.
People feel if she doesn't fit in the universe. Just her character in general.
Yeah, and I don't see that, particularly me. I just think if you watched Rebels, if you watched Clone Wars, anything more than just the movie. I mean, if a Babu Frick can fit in Star Wars, Amy Sedaris can fit in Star Wars. Yeah. Hey. And then obviously we got to talk, you know, Timothy Oliphant as as Cobb
Yep.
Vanth, a huge character from the novels, brought finally into live action.
Yeah.
Which is, huge. We talked about Cobb Vanth possibly being in the show, I believe in the very last episode that we did of Council, in episode 6. That was around when we found out that Timothy Olyphant was cast, and that, there was the rumor that he is potentially playing Cobb Vanth. And that's kind of when the whole Boba Fett stuff started, because you figure if you get Cobb Vanth, you're going to probably get Boba Fett, because for those who don't know, based on just look at the thumbnail of our video today, that's a picture of Mando with Cobb Vanth wearing Boba Fett's armor. That is not Boba Fett's armor.
Boba Fett.
But that's not Boba Fett in the armor. That's Cobb.
We're not going like by story, right? We're just kind of
we're just kind of going all
shit, just talking about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see more of Timothy Olyphant?
Yes, I think that he will be in the same style of like Cara Dune. I think it's going to be something where he is definitely going to be back this season.
We have not seen yet. We haven't seen Cara Dune.
We haven't seen any returning
yet.
characters. Yeah. We have not seen Moff Gideon. We have not seen Cara Dune. And we
I
have not seen
didn't think about
Carvin.
that. Jeez.
Yeah, we have not seen any returning characters. We haven't seen the Armorer, who we know is also probably going to be in this season. So there's a lot of people that we got to catch up on. There's a ton of characters. And then all the new characters that we know are going to be in this.
Yeah. Who unfortunately were rumored and basically spoiled for everybody. But
yeah, and then people were like, well, maybe, they're just rumors. They could not be true. They're all true. They're all true. Everybody that was rumored is definitely going to be in this show.
All right. So do you want to throw out what we liked about this episode? I don't know if you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah. Okay. So for me, I just really, really liked, it's that thing of where it is taking up the old tropes of the Western, of the samurai film, of all this, this and that there, you see the setup, even SpongeBob, there's a nice little SpongeBob tie-in in this episode with the sandworm. Nice Dune tie-in as well, there's a lot of that. Whatever you want to say, pick your sandworm, Beetlejuice, whatever you want. There's a lot going on here, but it's the typical, take the sandworm out of it. It's the typical gunslinger walks into town. Sheriff doesn't like gunslinger. Gunslinger doesn't like sheriff. There's a common enemy. Sheriff and gunslinger are going to get along and come together and come to an understanding to save the town. You see that in Clint Eastwood films. It's basically the plot of Rango with Johnny Depp. If you haven't seen Rango, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I think it's a great, it's a tried and true plot device. There's a reason that it's used all the time.
With a third party as well. In the Tusken Raiders.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
But yeah,
so I would say absolutely. I let me throw you a real hard question, and then we'll go with your thoughts. And don't worry, I'm going to force myself to answer it. I just don't know my answer yet. So if you want to give your thoughts and then answer, because it is tough, where would you rank this?
Out of the 8 and then the first one?
Yeah.
This would probably be top 5, I would say. Maybe a little higher. I'm trying to think, because when did we rewatch those? Like 2 months ago?
It was like June to July.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, because I know the 6th episode obviously was one of my tops. I think the first or second one was, and then the one with the Seventh Samurai, basically the village and the AT-AT or
episode
ATSC.
4. Yeah,
that was top 3. I would probably put it up there with that. I thought this was a brilliant return to form. This is kind of what we got in the first episode.
Oh yeah, and
as far as quality,
what did you feel? Because I'll throw this question to you too.
Yeah,
very first time we get Jon Favreau directing. How did you feel?
I liked it. I was great. I thought it was great.
Same. I got to agree.
And his writing, I thought, was really good too. I mean, he's written every episode, right? So I mean, it's not like it's anything.
Yes. So it's kind of a switch of last season. Last season, him and Dave Filoni wrote every single episode, and he was doing so much time in the writing, he didn't have time to direct. This season, he's directing more. and he gave some of the scripts over to other people. So Dave is writing on his own this year. Rick Famuyiwa is writing next week's episode on his own.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So there's going to be some other voices coming in the writing, which kind of gave space for Favreau to direct a couple.
Yeah. I love the whole like we're gonna unite against a common enemy, and also I like the idea that once the Emperor and the Empire was destroyed, everything was kind of in chaos almost, where it's like these people are just coming in. It shows like these people coming into this town after the Empire is destroyed and basically taking over because who's gonna stop them? You know,
it's exactly what Cobb Vanth says. He says power loves a vacuum.
Exactly. I loved that. I loved showing that, and I loved showing Cobb Vanth's journey to coming back to the town.
Yes, we don't get flashbacks in Star Wars often.
Yeah.
But I really liked how the flashback was handled with Cobb Vanth.
Did you like Timothy as the character?
I loved him. I thought he was.
I mean, the only thing that like him wearing the armor looked like it was big on a toddler. It looked like it didn't fit him.
I think that's because Tamora Morrison.
Was small.
Tamora Morrison's a big dude. What's it called? So Timothy, it's like weird because Tamora Morrison's a little bit shorter, but he's like a big, like stocky guy. Timothy Oliphant's like 6'3", but he's like skinny. He's like scrawny.
He's like thin. Yeah.
So it's like the shoulder pads were like this on him. You know what I mean? Like, whereas Tamora Morrison's, they like hugged his shoulder.
Yeah.
But I think that all goes to show you, kind of this armor is not his. You know what I mean? Like it just goes into that.
Yeah.
I will say though, having read Cobb Vanth in the Aftermath novels and stuff, Timothy Oliphant's portrayal of him, I definitely feel like if he didn't read the novels, he at least got maybe like the audible excerpts about Cobb Vanth, because he, especially the way that he is written in the book, I feel he really brought that to life. And now obviously because we've seen this a little bit last season too, where there has been some discrepancies from novel material. Classic example, the Ahsoka Tano novel covers what happens with her and Maul, but then that changed when it came time to put it on for the Clone Wars. And basically what Filoni said was, listen, any of the shows or movies is going to take precedence in canon. Okay. So if there's a little discrepancy, go with the thing that's in the show or the movie or whatever. Because Cobb Vanth, generally they kept the origin basically the same. There's just a few differences. But in terms of the characterization, I thought Timothy Oliphant was a perfect choice. And I really hope we see him again.
Now to touch on real quick, what I actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
So basically throughout the episode, they agree to fight this what's it called again? What's the creature?
Crate Dragon.
Yeah, Crate Dragon. They agree to take it down. And Cobb Vanth is like, I'll give you this armor back if you help us defeat the dragon. And of course, obviously they beat him. And I was actually surprised. I thought Mando would be like, you keep it. But he's like, nope, mine.
Yeah, I thought
were you
maybe
surprised by that?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. That was the question you were going to ask?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I really about at the halfway point when Cobb Vanth is just like when he's like using the armor like fantastically, like I thought Mando was going to be like, this guy respects and understands the armor, and like, like Mandalorians, like I was a foundling, like, maybe he deserves to keep it, but he was like, nope, that was mine. You know what I mean? Like, and I think a lot of that has to do with just how precious Beskar is. Like maybe if it wasn't anymore, like maybe if it was back in the day, he might be like, all right, you know what, you can hold on to it. You're protecting these people. Yeah. But you hear John Leguizamo say at the start of the episode, he said even recently the value of Beskar has gone up and up and up. So clearly it's getting even more valuable, which is very, very interesting. So yeah, what would be I don't know. I mean, because we want to make sure that people can still watch the show themselves. What would be maybe some final things you want to talk about episode or chapter 9 that we haven't touched on yet?
I just thought it was a great comeback episode. From being off. When did the last episode air?
December 27th.
Oh, okay, so almost a year basically. I liked all the writing. I thought everything looked great, especially considering they're probably filming mostly in or actually all of it, basically. Because they don't go to location.
No.
Everything I thought looked great. I thought it was a great story. And then, of course, the ending, we probably maybe touch on it a little bit, as Mando's driving or riding the speeder bike through the desert bike. You see on the cliff Tamora Morrison looking down, and he kind of just walks away into camera, and then it goes black. When do you think we'll see him again? Like, do you think we'll see him again, like episode 8, or like maybe, well,
it's tough. I don't know.
I'll tell you right now, we don't see him the second episode.
Yeah. It's tough because it looks like he has, for some reason, been stuck on Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, I don't know when we see him again, because the story would have to bring Mando back to Tatooine.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about well, let's start transitioning into chapter 9 or chapter 10,
Okay.
because so chapter 9 ends cut to black after you see Boba Fett walking away in the distance. Mando is riding off on the speeder bike with Boba's armor on the speeder bike. Cut to chapter 10's opening scene, which is Mando riding on the speeder bike with Boba Fett's armor, and you see these like bandits, or maybe possibly someone working with Boba, tries to sabotage Mando. They set up a little trap for his speeder bike. They catch him in the trap. The speeder bike explodes. He falls everywhere. And possibly that was Boba trying to get back his armor. We don't know. But basically, Mando in episode 10 was able to get off Tatooine with Boba Fett's armor. So it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe Boba Fett doesn't even want his armor back. So I would say if the story requires Mando to go back to Tatooine and that's where he comes back in, I don't think that's happening for a while.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something where Boba is leaving Tatooine, because as of right now, I don't think we know the location of Slave One. I would assume.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I would assume that it's still on Tatooine.
Somewhere.
Somewhere. I don't know if Boba still has the keys or if they were in the armor. I don't know. Maybe his dad kept a spare key under the tire.
Probably.
I don't know, but if he has Slave One, you would assume that he could go off planet. I think it just hangs on that. I just think we don't know enough yet to see. But obviously, if he goes back to Tatooine, I think that's immediately what's going to happen, is that we're going to have a big episode with Boba Fett. If he doesn't go back to Tatooine, I think maybe it's something that Boba is going to randomly show up in one of these episodes. Maybe the finale, not sure. Maybe it's something that... maybe it is something that Moff Gideon knows about Boba Fett. And
could be.
Maybe we get Moff Gideon next episode seeing Boba Fett's armor somehow. And then maybe Moff Gideon recruits Boba Fett.
Possible.
That's another thing that I could think of. That would be really.
Really I just can't see. The thing with that is, like, I can't see why Boba Fett would be against Mando. You know what I mean? Like, what would Moff Gideon possibly say?
Well, I feel like people just gotta remember that Boba Fett's a villain.
Is he though?
Yeah, he's always been a little dick. You know what I mean? He's like,
I get
blow up
that.
Mace Windu and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Mace did cut his dad's head off, but still.
Oh my god, him and I will say it again. Boba Fett in Clone Wars, most annoying character I've ever watched.
Bang, got it.
What's that?
Who is always with Mando?
The child.
Yeah. Boba Fett hates Yoda.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Boba Fett knows all about the Jedi. He hates them. He's gonna think.
Yeah.
He's gonna think, why are you protecting that thing? Do you know what that thing could become? Especially if he sees it use the Force. He's gonna hate Mando because he's gonna be like, "What are you doing? Like, why? Like, why are you with that thing? Why are you protecting it?" And also, there's another wrinkle to Boba Fett, which is he has always been a gun for the highest bidder. You know what I mean?
no, yeah.
That's another part
He's a gun
too.
for hire bait.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can I let's just what after you talk about that, what are your like initial reactions to the second chapter 10? What did you think?
Chapter 10, I would say. Okay. I don't know. You go
Pondering his
first.
thoughts.
What are you?
Okay.
Yeah,
In
you go first.
my personal opinion, chapter 10 was another one of those episodes that I feel like we saw in the first season where it's kind of a bridge. Maybe not even like a fully built bridge, where it's not really, as a lot of people say, I feel like not really progressing the overall plot of the show that they have kind of set forth in the first season with Moff Gideon and, you know, these remaining people holding on to the Empire basically, and just kind of stuff like that. Like it's kind of one of those episodes, like we said, with like I said earlier with the Seventh Samurai, where it's they're in the village. Well, this episode is just kind of we're going to this place and we get completely sidetracked throughout the entire episode, and then we're back on track at the end of it. It's not as bad as like in the Clone Wars last season arc where Ahsoka is stuck under at the stuck. What is it? What's it called? The underworld, basically.
With
like
with the pikes and stuff.
Yeah, with the pikes, like that 4-episode arc. That
what are
was
their
like
last
nothing.
names? The Martez sisters or whatever.
Yeah. Martez. Yeah. It's not like that. Like it's not like ridiculous like that. Especially the one episode where they run around the entire facility and just end up back in a cell.
Yeah, that was terrible.
But it's definitely something it leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion. I wasn't bored or anything. Like I still was enjoying the episode, especially like this episode. Baby, like the child is an asshole. Like
absolutely.
He keeps eating these frogs' eggs and it's like, oh mine.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you see who? Do you want to just read off the IMDb real quick?
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say I don't know if you saw who does the voice of the frog lady, but we got D. Bradley Baker back up in here.
Chapter 10, The Passenger. The Mandalorian must ferry a passenger with precious cargo on a risky journey. That passenger is a frog with her eggs, and they're trying to get to this planet where her husband is to ensure that their family line does not perish after the parents are dead.
Not even just family line. I think didn't they say species?
Species, yeah.
Because Amy Sedaris. Spoiler alert for the next name on the list. Sorry, but didn't her character said their family line? But then when she finish reading it. Sorry, I don't want to get too sidetracked.
What, you want me to get into cast?
Just
real
the
quick?
cast, yeah, just the first.
Pedro Pascal, Amy Sedaris, Misty Rosas. I can't pronounce.
I don't know. Maybe
Rosas. Richard Ayoade, Paul Sung Hyung Lee, Dave Filoni, D. Bradley Baker. Oh shit! Boom. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Misty was the frog lady. I thought she was the voice. I've read that as heard the voice for a second. I was like,
no, she was the physical actress. Yeah.
Dave Filoni returning as Trapper.
Absolutely.
Trapper Wolf.
And also, we got Paul Sun Hyung Lee from Kim's Convenience. Who TJ and I actually saw him in real life at Toronto Fan Expo last year. They had the whole Kim's Convenience gang there because that was right after the news broke that Simu Liu was going to be Shang-Chi. So very, very funny. As soon as I saw him in the cockpit, I was like losing my mind. And then when I saw Dave, I was like, all I could think about was the Mandalorian report, or the Mandalorian. Oh my god. Whatever they called that, the Disney Gallery Mandalorian, the documentary. All I could think about was how much Jon Favreau pressured Dave Filoni to be in it, and I was like, what was the conversation to get him in it again? Like, did he have to really beg and plead with him, or was Dave like, you know what, I'll do it again? And you know what I mean?
He's in it more than the last.
He's in it way more. Yeah, Dave. Yeah. They're in it like throughout the entire episode.
So what are your thoughts?
On the overall episode, I think I think it was very, very good. I also, we should say, directed by Peyton Reed, director of Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, and a ton of
Oh,
other
okay.
stuff.
I missed that. My
New
bad.
director to the show in season 2. Um, I thought that it was. I thought it was good. I thought it was definitely, like you said, it was kind of one of those episodes that just it doesn't affect the quality of the
Hmm.
episode. It just is one of those things where, you feel like, okay, I kind of want to see where the story goes. We're kind of doing this little side quest thing, what's going on.
Hmm.
But we all said that about almost every episode in season 1, and then at the end they proved us all wrong and they tied everything
Exactly. Yeah.
together. So I
Yeah.
hesitate to talk like that again this year, because last year they proved us all wrong. They tied everything
Hmm.
together. Um,
It's more of like a patiently wait and build show, I would say, than
yes,
you're gonna get like
exactly.
a ba 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 every
Yeah,
episode.
whereas in the first season, people were like, "Oh, this show, they just do these random episodes that mean nothing." And it's
Hmm.
like, "No, it doesn't mean nothing. We just have to
Yeah.
trust them and, be
Yeah.
patient and see where everything's going." But I would say as
Yeah.
a whole, I think it was a very solid singular episode.
Hmm.
I just want to see, where it's going with how it
Yeah.
affects the storyline.
Now, if that was
Maybe
like the
it,
first
maybe
episode
it's
of the season, I'd be like, "What is this?"
yeah, I would be like, why is
Yeah.
this exactly? Yeah. But I'm just trying to think of things, that could come back later on. Maybe it's something where maybe Dave Filoni's not done with this season. You know what I mean? Maybe we see more of Carson Teva and Trapper Wolf.
Mhm.
Maybe we
Yeah.
see him again. Um, Also, I thought it was really cool that it kind of just shows that the New Republic is out there. They're actively
Yeah.
patrolling every corner of the galaxy.
Hmm.
That we're starting to see, Leia's government is kind of in place throughout the galaxy. Mon
Uh-huh.
Mothma's keeping tabs on everybody, including the Mandalorian. Um, and it's just kind of cool to see that aspect of the
Yeah.
galaxy, because we don't get to see that area or that time
Yeah.
period explored much.
Can you remind me who the two X-wing pilots are referring to at the end, kind of towards the end, when they basically save them from the big spider weird giant things?
Hmm.
Who are they referring to when he's like, "Oh, we have you on record as doing this, and this with these three prisoners, but then you saved the life of this person."
That was
Can
episode 6 of last year.
That's
That
what I
was
thought.
that was the
Okay.
prisoner one. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were like, you arrested, the Bill Burr, the Twi'lek,
Hmm.
and Clancy Brown. But
Yeah.
they were like, remember Matt Lanter, the guy who played Anakin in the Clone Wars, his like the security guard. Mando was
Oh,
trying to
right.
save him. So
Yeah.
that's what they were
Correct. I
saying. They
remember
said,
that.
we have you on security
Okay.
cams showing, that you're wanted for this and this. But they were
Yeah.
like, we're gonna let it slide because we have you on security cams, trying to save the New
Mhm.
Republic officer, basically, and you gave us 3 high-level prisoners.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Just one
They were
second.
probably like, "Well, we saw you fly by too." As we were going to
Yeah,
going
exactly.
to blow up the ship, the
Yeah.
giant
Yeah.
docking station.
Yeah, because Filoni was there. Trapper Wolf was there. He was
No,
like,
yeah, that's what
he
I
was
mean.
like, were you? That was so funny in the
Are we
beginning of the
getting like
episode.
any more Bryce Dallas Howard episodes or any?
I don't think so.
um,
Next up for directors, we have more Jon Favreau. Dave Filoni
Mhm.
is directing.
No Taika?
No Taika. I think, as far as I can tell, Taika's done with the show.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, he's also doing like Thor and shit like that.
Oh
so
yeah,
I
he
guess-
just doesn't.
yeah.
I don't mean done with the show. Like, oh, I'm done with
No,
that.
yeah.
Like he's just busy.
Mhm.
But and then also Robert Rodriguez is directing. So we have 7 episodes left in the show. So there's a lot of room. Or I'm sorry, 6 episodes left in the show.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time, for there to be more directors. But I know definitely Rick Famuyiwa's got a directing job. We're gonna have another Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Robert Rodriguez. So yeah, there's some coming, but no
Yeah.
Taika this year.
I thought this one thing this episode actually did was it kind of built Mando as a character, because the frog lady challenges him. Basically, basically they're being chased by the X-wings. Initially when they first like pull him over, basically, and they fall. They go down to this ice planet, and then they fall beneath the surface. And the ship's basically like pretty not like unrepairable or anything, but it's definitely damaged. And basically, like Mando is just kind of like down on his luck, and he tells the frog lady that the deal's off. Like, I can't get you to whatever planet you want to go to. And she basically is like, I thought like you never like basically gave up. Like, you always were true to your word and your deal. And that basically kind of like reinvigorates him, I guess I would say, in a way, which I thought was cool. I mean, if there's one thing that this episode does, I feel like it kind of builds that character, and also kind of shows that, like I said earlier, the child is kind of an asshole in a way, where he's told no multiple times, he still does it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, apparently, Bryce Dallas Howard is directing one episode this season.
Oh, okay.
So she will be in it. Also, I just want to give a shout out to with Peyton Reed directing the fully grown ant that's playing Sabak in the beginning of the episode. I didn't even get that reference. I didn't even think about it.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Ant-Man. Yeah.
yeah. That's funny.
I don't know. Maybe when we never saw what happened to the ant, because we did, remember? Because the ant, after the snap, the ant was just chilling in Scott's house. Maybe he got teleported to a galaxy far away. I don't know.
With the drums, yeah.
Yeah, he was playing the drums. Maybe he learned how to play Sabak and he, went to Tatooine. I don't know.
Maybe.
We've seen people go to Tatooine in the Marvel Universe before. Check out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Very interesting. But, yeah, I would just say overall a great episode. Just a little lacking on story and plot. But
yeah,
like we said, we don't know how it folds in. So anything can happen still. I will say the cinematography I thought was incredible. I thought the cinematography was even better in the second episode than the first episode, particularly when the X-Wings come back to rescue them. And you see that they have the floodlights shining on Mando.
Yeah.
And you see Mando walking. I thought that looked absolutely incredible, especially considering so much of that must have been CGI. I thought it looked fantastic. I thought it was really, really good. What are some of your final thoughts on episode 10, chapter 10, The Passenger?
I'm going to just say I thought it was a solid episode. Okay. I would probably say mid pack for me if I'm ranking all 10 so far. Like you said, didn't really offer much overall plot story wise, but it was still like a fun little side adventure, I would say. And it just kind of builds the character of Mando a tiny bit, in my opinion. But overall, a solid episode.
Nice, yeah. Well, all right. I mean, we will probably be back. I think we're thinking of doing this every 2 weeks so that we can review, 2 episodes for you guys at once. So I think we'll be back with episode 8 of Planet Council. We're going to aim for the 21st of November to review chapters 11 and 12. We'll figure out whatever those stories hold for us. As of right now, this is very secretive on the show. So we will see what is in store, and then we will be back to cover it all for you guys with episode 8. Also, remember to, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the episode. We post at least once a week, and we will be back with our regularly scheduled Tuesday 8 p.m. live show for Planet Film this Tuesday on the 10th. We, I think, still have to determine what we're going to be doing for the review, but it will be a regular, full live show that we will post on our Twitter and Instagram, which you make sure you go follow our Instagram, which is planet_filmpod. And then Twitter is just @planetfilmpod, no underscore. So make sure you follow both of those places. We post the links, where we can. We have the links in the bio of our Instagram, but, with Instagram, you can't post links on posts. But we post on Twitter the link to every video that we're about to do or that we have done, depending if it's a live show or pre-recorded or whatever. But I think that will do it. Again, I just want to say, my name is Sean Monk, and you follow me on Twitter @PasteEatingYak.
And I'm TJ Cornwell, and you can follow me on Twitter @TJ_Cornwell.
All right. Everybody be safe out there. Go Joe Biden. And may the
Peace
force be
out.
with you always.